Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to an ER Q&A episode. Today's question is coming from Promise, and I'm gonna quote his question directly. It came from Instagram, and his question was basically this, right? Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to you as well. My name is Promise. Oh, I can't pronounce your first name. Hope that's pretty cool. I don't want to butcher your first name, but anyway, your last name is pretty dope. I like that, Promise. I'm in a partnership business with 3 of my friends at school, but we don't know the business standard of how the profit percentage will be shared. We'll be so happy if you can help out. So yeah, let's get straight into it. That's a very good question, and I'm gonna just basically jump into a scenario here, right? Because there's gonna be different scenarios where you're gonna be at in your company. Right? If you're in the startup stages, you're really not going to be too concerned about what profit percentages you guys are going to be giving each other. You probably should be more concerned about actually making a sale, actually getting profits, actually getting things set up. You can still discuss about how you want to split profits later in the future, but trust me guys, I've seen too many people who spend so much time on their business plan or how they're going to allocate certain things or this and that, and it doesn't really help, right? Even like, for example, one of the startups I'm working on, we didn't even talk about profit percentage splittage until like recently, because we're so much focused. We had our passions basically overflowing, and we're going straight into building a product. And also, I've had experience in the past where I focused so much on all those different things, and I didn't focus too much on the business part. So what you want to do is actually focus on the business part of itself, where you're making sales and stuff like that, and not too stress too much about the whole profit share and stuff like that. And the reason why that's also very key is this, right? What you want to do is be able to kind of put a contingency out there with all the different people you're starting the company with. If you're the main founder and you're starting off a company with people who are new, right? You've never really worked with them with a company, and you might know them as good friends and stuff like that. I don't care about that. You've not worked with them on a business, and you don't want to allocate, like, say, oh, we're going to split 33.33% everyone equally with 3 people, and we're going to start this company. And then later on, a year later, you find out one of the individuals who gave such a huge percent stake in your company actually is not bringing value to the table. That's going to be pretty hurtful. So what you want to do is, if you are the main founder, the person who started the company, the idea, and you got a lot of things moving pace, tell them that, hey, guys, we're going to decide the profit allocation after 1 year, after we basically get to understand how much value each individual is going to be bringing to the table. Now, that's something you can be able to use if you're starting a company with new individuals, because trust me, I learned that the hard way, okay? But if you're starting a company with people who you've already seen they have a proven track record, you already know they're very much of an asset, they have their skills, either they're good at marketing, programming, engineering, or management, or sales, or whatever it might be, then you can be able to discuss how much stake you can divide up with each other. But if you're starting off this new company fresh, you probably may want to hold off giving the whole percentage stake to other people who you might not ever worked with before in the past. Now, this is the next part as well. When it comes to profit share, because you asked specifically about profit share, is that it's going to be different, right? You might own 30% of a company, but in the beginning, you probably might only getting 5% profit of the whole shares that are coming in, because a lot of money is getting reinvested back in the company. So there's going to be a few different things, right? There's going to be share profits, and there's also going to be salary, right? If you look at, for example, a company like Facebook, right? The executive, Mark Zuckerberg, only gets paid, I think, $1 a year on salary, because he's getting most of his profits from the percent profit share stake he gets in the company. And of course, dividends and other different things like that. We can talk about that later, but that's one example. But for example, in my startup, right now, I'm getting 0 salary, and I'm also getting paid $0. Like, any money that comes to the company, I'm basically reinvesting all of it back in the business, right? So I'm mostly just paying employees, right? So for example, if you guys are not like equity stake partners, and 2 of the people or 1 of the other person is more of an employee and they want to get paid salary, that's a whole different topic, right? Because that means you're not going to get paid profit share. Because for example, one of the startup companies that I started on a side hustle is that for a whole 1.5 years, I got paid $0, but I was paying 4 people full time. Okay, they ended up getting paid way more money than I have ever paid myself from the company, and I own 100% stake of the company. So it really does matter. There's so much complexity that it comes when it comes to splitting profit share, because it depends on where your company is at. You do not want to start taking 40% of your revenue or profit, net profit from your company, and you just started it a year ago. You're bleeding the company, okay? You're bleeding the company from actual growth. Now, of course, if your whole idea is not to grow the company any further, then once again, that's another whole different story, because all you care about is taking profit now. I'm more of a long-term thinker. I want to establish a foundation for at least the next 10 years before I even start thinking about how much money do I want to get out of this company. And that's why I'm telling you, promise, this question is very much personal, and it depends on who you just started the company with. Are they new friends? If you've never worked with them, then don't give them % profit share until later. Does one person just want to get employee salary? That's a whole different topic. Do they just want to get a bonus package or a stock package? That's a whole different topic as well. So promise, this question is very much like the way you asked the question, it didn't really go in depth on where your company is at. And I hope you're able to see why I don't want to give a blanket answer for everybody, because it's just not going to work, okay? Even when I'm starting up a company, I always do different things. Like, for example, if it's my partner, Joshua Kanani, who I've been working for a very long time, I can already be like, dude, we can do 50-50 on this project. Like, plank out. Because I've worked with him for years. I know his work ethic. I know he's going to deliver. I know where his strong suits are. I know where his, like, you know what I mean? But if I meet a person recently and I'm starting a company, I'll tell them, like, dude, I'm not going to give you any profit share until we have, not profit share, but I'm not going to give you an equity stake in the company until I really know what your hustle is about and your strengths and weaknesses. How do we complement each other? What's the long-term vision for this company? And how will you fit in it? And how will I fit in this as well? And stuff like that. So most of the time when it comes to equity share, it's not only about you being stingy. It's about you actually making sure you're giving a person equity based on the value they're going to give back in the company. And I don't want you to get stingy and be like, I know this person is super valuable, but I want to have 60% of the company share. That's very dumb, okay? That's very stupid. And I'm going to tell you why right now. If you find a person who's very skilled and very valuable, and they have the skill and ability to take a watermelon and a grape and turn it into a watermelon, it's sure as heck better for you to own 25% of a watermelon than freaking 70% of a tiny little grape. It makes no sense, okay? So you do not want to be selfish when it comes to this part as well. So as you guys can tell, this topic is so personal. It is so intertwined with so many different layers. There is no direct answers. So promise, I hope I was able to kind of give you a guideline of the different parts and different movements when it comes to profit share or equity share. And I really want you to research a little bit more in detail. Go look at different companies in your industry and see how those founders did profit share. Learn when they decided to do an equity split. Learn when they decided to do this and that, because your industry will also matter. Is it a startup? Is it a technology startup? Are you building a multi-billion-dollar company? Are you building just a company with a small shop that's just trying to serve a local neighborhood? And that's a different story. Is it a family company? That's a different story. I know it's a company with your friends in college, but what industry are you in? What is this and that? Like, it's so many different moving parts. Have you already raised money for your company? Is your shares going to be diluted later on in the future when you try to raise capital from investors? So, promise, I'm very sorry. I hope I was able to deliver as much as I can. Anyone who's watching out there, I just wanted to show you guys that this question is very complicated because it's very personal. And when a question is personal, I never try to give a direct answer, because I know that when you make this decision, it's going to be very personal. And that's why I try to kind of give an open canvas. And I try to kind of paint a few spots here and there so you can fill it in with what's going on in your scenario. And hopefully that can be able to help you out, okay? But anyway, you can also send me a question on Instagram once again, and we can be able to follow up more in detail, and we can talk more, and I can be able to understand where you're coming from. But for now, for everyone else who's watching out there, I hope this video was able to kind of give you an idea of the different scenarios or different places where you might be when it comes to splitting profit share in your company, all right? Thanks for watching, and we're going to get back on ER Q&A series. Hopefully, I'm going to have another ER Q&A episode coming out soon. That's how I did this video. I think it was like maybe 5 months ago, because we've been launching a new series. A lot of things have been happening on the YouTube channel. I'm trying to upgrade things a little bit more, so I hope you guys can bear with me. But anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out, and catch you on the flip.